What's up, everyone? Find myself with a couple of days off. Sport glides all loaded up, ready for an overnight camping trip, and we're going to head a few hours north along the coastline and hopefully find somewhere real nice to stay by the beach. So all of you living in the Northern Hemisphere, surrounded by snow and having that cold weather keep you indoors, hopefully this will keep you excited for the warmer months ahead. But enough chit chat. The sun is shining, the road is calling. Let's jump on the bike and let's go riding. So we're a couple of hours into the trip, just over halfway. Stopped at a local roadhouse just to grab some fuel, have a bit of a sip of water as well. It's real hot today, about 30 degrees Celsius and climbing. But nothing like the wind to cool you down. Nice beautiful view. Been following the coastline all the way up, and the bike's handling really nice. It's been about 120 kilometers an hour the whole way, so I've just been sitting on cruise control, leaning back into the Saddlemen bag, and yeah, just kind of enjoying the ride, enjoying the cruise. It's been a little bit surreal driving through some of the areas that have been ravaged by the bushfires. There's still that smoky residue lingering around, which really kind of adds to the senses of being on a motorcycle and riding on these trips. But so far, so good. Bike's good, trip's nice, roads are good, and in a couple of hours, should be at the campsite, and soon after that, hopefully on the beach. And just like that, we're in. Pretty great, this Coleman Ridgeline tent. I picked it up about a year ago. It's a real small tent that fits in the saddlebag of my Sport Glide. And as you can see, it's pretty roomy. It's easy to set up. It can handle some wind, and I'm pretty happy with it. But now the tent is up, the bike is having a rest, trying to finally for me to have some food, and then we're gonna kick it off to the beach. It's 5:30 here, and I had a pretty good sleep. Everyone else in the campsite are in caravans, which means everyone else is still asleep. I had a pretty windy night, but the tent held up good. No issues with the bike, and the weather's looking really nice already this morning. So today's plans: maybe hang out at the beach a bit more, have a few swims, load up the bike and head home this afternoon. Alright, well, I've managed to make it out the campsite, and I thought, what better way to start the day than breakfast on the beach? So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do my first kind of Q&A and ask a few common questions that I've been receiving across the YouTube comment section, on my Instagram as well. And if you like this kind of Q&A thing, then let me know in the comments. First common question that I've been receiving is, what got me into Harley-Davidson, and would I ever ride anything else? So firstly, what got me into riding Harley-Davidson motorcycles was when I moved back to Western Australia. I took my dad's bike out for a spin, and that was a Kawasaki Vulcan S. And I really enjoyed just the comfort, the ergonomics, and just the feeling that the body position of a cruiser provided. So I decided from then that my next bike was going to be a cruiser. When I was thinking about what I wanted, I knew that if I was going to go a cruiser, I wanted the staple of the cruiser motorcycle world. I wanted the Harley-Davidson. Now, as to the other question of would I ever ride anything else other than Harley-Davidson, well, the answer is of course I would. But you have to understand the kind of riding that I do and the kind of bike that I demand for that kind of riding. So, I ride my bike every day. I commute to work. I'm carrying camera gear, I'm carrying work gear, gym gear in my bags every day. I then like to take the bike out on weekends through nice rides through the hills. Maybe my girlfriend jumps on the back sometimes. And then whenever I can on the weekends, or if I get some time off, I like to take the bike out on longer distance traveling and go moto camping. It kind of puts me in a position where the only kind of category of bikes that I'm interested in right now are cruisers and adventure bikes. And I've test ridden a bunch of adventure bikes, including the BMWs, the KTMs, next will be the Honda Africa Twin. And as amazing as those bikes are, and as high-tech as those bikes are, the one thing that disappoints me in those bikes is the lack of excitement that they give me on my daily commute riding. Now these bikes, as soon as you start to open them up and really crank them, especially the KTM 1290, are really fun. And they have lots of power. Likewise, when you take these bikes out onto off-road tracks, that's when these bikes really start to shine, and you just have an incredible time on those motorcycles. The problem is I'm not doing that all the time. A lot of my time is commuting on my bike. And during that commute, at at normal speeds and in traffic environments, I find these bikes just to be too boring right now. There's not enough character in them. On the other side, the Harley Davidson, I could be going through suburban traffic and I still feel the character and the soul of the motorcycle. It's exciting whether I'm cruising through the streets or I'm out on the long haul. And I think that's the difference right now that's keeping me on Harley Davidson. Another question I've been receiving a lot is, should you go a Harley Davidson Sport Glide or the new Lowrider S? And I received this question quite a few times that I think I'm gonna have to make a video on it. The short answer would be, if you're a taller rider or you're often switching between solo riding and two-up riding, I would go the Sport Glide. But I will make a video with a few more things as well to consider in terms of the braking capabilities, obviously the engine differences, and some of the handling characteristics of both motorcycles as well. Okay, last question from the Q&A, and again, this is one I've been receiving quite a lot of, was, will I be upgrading to a touring bike soon? And I think this is in response to my recent videos, test riding the Street Glide, the Road Glide, and the Indian as well. And if you've seen those videos, you'll know that I had a really good time riding those bikes and was really impressed with just how much I enjoyed them. So the answer is that yes, one day I would love to jump to a touring motorcycle, but that day is not yet. I want to see the next refresh of the touring bike before I would make a decision. Right now in Australia, we can only get the Electra Glide, the Street Glide Special, and the Road Glide Special. So we can't get the standard versions of those motorcycles. Those specials are designed based off the big wheel bagger movement, and Harley hasn't yet refreshed them to match what the current trends are, which is really the performance bagger or purpose-built motorcycle movement. So I'm really kind of waiting to see when Harley Davidson make the switch in their touring bikes to kind of catch up with the trends. All right, so that'll finish off my first little Q&A session. If you want to see more of those, let me know in the comments and leave some questions. And in the future, I'll be sure to pop your name and your comment up on the screen as well. So let me know and we'll do this again. Well, I guess it's time to go. Probably gonna take the long way home. Stop off at a few beaches. Give the bike a bit of a clean down when I get back. And ready for work tomorrow. Why don't you let me know in the comments below some of your favorite motor camping trips, maybe some tips and tricks for others who want to take their bike out on an adventure. I'll catch you on the next one. All right, peace.